All right, hello wine drinking people. We're back. More of what I drank yesterday or sometime earlier this week. A lot of stuff going on here at the Wine Watch. A lot of drinking to get through, so we'll get right to it. The boys from Treasury were in, and this is a group that's what's called the Foster's Group, and they own some top wineries in Napa Valley, like Etude. The first wine they brought in, the Pinot Gris, which is not one of their better known wines. Etude, Tony Soder's founded this winery, and very well known for their Cabernet and for their Pinot Noir. But Pinot Gris is becoming a really popular category. I think the fastest growing white category today is Pinot Gris, or otherwise known as Pinot Grigio. Okay, this wine is from Carneros. They make about 3,000 cases of it, and most of the Etude wines are still estate grown. They do buy a little fruit for this wine, and they also buy some fruit for their Cabernet Sauvignon. This one had some lovely fresh kind of Asian pear fruit with notes of white flowers and a touch of vanilla spice there. A nice amount of fruit on the tongue with some light floral notes showing on the finish, and nice freshness there. Even had good weight. One of the things I like about domestic Pinot Gris, a little more weight in the mid palate than a lot of the Italian stuff. All right, well, the Penfolds Bin 311 Tumba Rumba Chardonnay shows up again. That's right, we just had it at our tasting, and I noticed this smoky nuance to this wine. At our tasting, it tasted a lot cleaner. It had this kind of flinty, smoky quality today to that lemon curd and lemon zest fruit. This is from a cool growing region in the south near Melbourne, and lovely freshness you get, almost kind of like Chablis-like on the palate, with a really clean and balanced finish. A really good little Chardonnay from Australia, $21.75. All right, the St. Clement Chardonnay from Carneros. It's a winery we know very well, but I haven't seen St. Clement stuff for a little while. 2008, maybe not quite as good as 2007 for Chardonnay, but another very good vintage from Northern California. This wine is from Stanley Ranch and from Abbott's Vineyard, and 80% new oak, 25% ML, so some nice toasty oak spice showing up on the nose to that peach and apple fruit. A note of that creme caramel also showing. Really ripe and rich tropical fruit on the tongue with a nice tan of that toasty oak spice. But a lot of people, even though they're adding oak to Chardonnay, still not quite as much. A little more balance and some nice acidity holding things together there. A very good effort. At $18, did the price on this wine go down? All right, well, Beringer Merlot up next. And, this is a winery that's made some fabulous wines over the years, but, due to price, wheeling and dealing, a lot of these brands have been, out there at really reduced prices over the last couple years. And it's made things like the Private Reserve kind of hard to sell from Beringer, unless, of course, you have got the slashed price. But the Merlot at $20. A really nice little bottle of Merlot, something I'm always looking for because I love Merlot, and we don't see a lot of great Merlot to me coming out of California, or not as much as they should, A nice hand of that ripe, plummy, and black cherry fruit showing on the nose with some fresh earth and fine herbs and notes of sweet tobacco spice. Nice amount of fruit on the palate here, really good concentration with that lovely smooth and silky texture, a hallmark of Merlot. Nicely balanced acidity here as well. This is a nice little Merlot for $20. All right, the Stag's Leap Cabernet Sauvignon, Stag's Leap Winery, that is. There's two Stag's Leap Wine Cellars, which Warren Winarski started and then went on to win the Paris Tasting in '76. And then the Stag's Leap Winery, which actually the first person that founded this winery, this was over 100 years ago, and one of the first places people used to come and visit, the first swimming pool, I think, in Napa Valley. And a lot of history here with this winery, now currently owned by the Treasury Wine Estates, or part of the Treasury Wine Estates. But ripe and forward blackcurrant and cassisberry fruit, this 2007 vintage, a great vintage for Napa Valley. Notes of fresh plowed earth, toasty oak spice, some tobacco showing there as well. A really nicely balanced bouquet. That's one of the hallmarks of '07, I think, is balance and the length on the finish, which to me proves these wines are going to stand the test of time in your cellar. All right, this wine has got, again, lovely balance on the palate, smooth, silky tannins, but still firm. This is a Cabernet Sauvignon. It's still relatively young, so this wine had some nice elegance, though, and freshness on the finish. So in addition to that big fruit, a really balanced finish, which is what I like about 2007's, is the balance. All right, excellent Cabernet Sauvignon, and I think the price went down on this too at $42.75. All right, well, next up, we've got a producer from Bulgari, Massimo Piccini.